Hi, this is JP Sarmiento from the Sarmiento Immigration Law Firm. So, what is the fiance visa? Fiance visa is a visa for your fiance to be able to come here. That's pretty straightforward. But what are the requirements for it? What are some aspects of it? Just on an informational basis. One requirement is for you to have met your fiance, not just online, not just over the phone, not just through mail or email, but physically in person. It doesn't have to be in your fiance's home country. I had a client, from here. Fiance was from Russia, and they met in Thailand, and there was a lot of documents to it, so that was approved. So that's a requirement. A lot of people tell me they've known each other for 5 years. They met 5 years ago and 4 years ago, but not in the past 2 years. That won't pass muster for a fiance visa. That's in fact it's a basic requirement. So they won't even go into an analysis of the bona fideness of the relationship, simply because one of the main requirements, just X's and O's requirements for the fiance visa, the fact that you have to have met each other within the past 2 weeks has not been met. What are some basic requirements also? You have your forms, the I-129F, passport pictures. But one thing I noticed, especially in my recent findings, is they want not just proof that you went and visited your fiancé. So it's not just, for example, maybe hotel receipts or pictures together. They want an actual copy of the petitioner's passport to show the stamp and visa if needed. Usually not the stamp of entry to the foreign country where that person met the fiance. We typically even make colored copies of that and highlight it or encircle it just to aid the officer. Another requirement is the proof of your bona fide relationship. Obviously, since you're not married yet, your fiance, you won't have. You can, but you might not have like a joint lease or joint tax returns or joint bank statements. Things that typically married couples have. In fact, those examples that I mentioned are part of the requirements or the suggested documents that you made on a marriage-based green card. But this is a fiance basis. The focus is on your visit. When you physically met each other. The pictures you had during that time. Did they include friends and family? Did you go somewhere else? Maybe a day trip somewhere where you flew or stayed at a hotel. So submit documentations of that. Obviously, you probably have like chat messages to each other, text messages to each other, emails to each other. Now I know some of them, definitely are confidential, but those that are willing to share it, that's not too I don't know. I don't want to say bogus, but not too private, I guess. Of course, you can share it, especially if it shows continuous communication with each other. Constant communication, that's good, because these documents show not just your names, it also shows the date. So those should be submitted to in a request. And then there are a lot of other requirements specific to your fiance's home country, and that's why you got to be careful. Maybe seek consultation if it's too complicated, because any delays, it's just a waste of time, especially if everything is there for an approval anyway. Some may require a police background check, some may require medical records. Fees are different for each, even though the affidavit of support technically is for the 485. Some may want maybe an I-134 or just proof that person can be financially supported. So it all varies, because when it comes to a fiancé visa, the application for the petition, though it's here, the actual visa is at the person's home country. So it really varies per embassy, and some are very stringent, some are stricter than others. So it's good to take note of these. But just as a primer, your form there is the I-129F, and you must have met within 90 days. And when that document showing your travel, it should include a copy of the petitioner's passport. The support letter is also a big deal in fiancé petitions. You have to explain How did you get to know each other? How did the relationship develop? Because fiance, it's you're gonna get married to the person, so it's not just girlfriend or a friend. So you have to develop this story and really explain it to the officer in order to have a good case. Another factor that I noticed is they want a specific phrase in the letter, even at the bottom or wherever, that specifically says, I intend to marry, or we intend to get married within 90 days of, my fiance's entry to the United States. I don't know why, but that's, you could say we plan to get married or something, but just in some memorandums and some letters by the USCIS pertaining to this topic, they want that specific phrase. We intend to get married within 90 days. Sometimes there can be a request for evidence. You submit that one-liner right there, that meets it, but they want that. So the kind of basics, of course, there's a lot of requirements. As I said, some might have medicals or police background checks, things like that. So you got to be careful. But as a basic, met within the past 2 years, copy of passport of the U.S. citizen showing that trip, and that line that says within 90 days. Okay, so those are some basics for the fiancé petition. If you have further questions with regards to the fiancé petition, or if you're thinking of doing one and need help of an immigration lawyer, feel free to give me a call. My name is JP Sarmiento from the Sarmiento Immigration Law Firm. We've done a couple of fiancé visas in the past. Our phone number is 216-573-3712. Consultations are free. In-person consultations are also free at our office. And feel free to visit our website at www.sarmientoimmigration.com. There's a box there for a free consultation. So that's private. That's not like a comment in a blog. And I'll personally respond to you as soon as possible. Okay, so my name is JP Sarmiento, and thank you for watching.